I'm Katrina, and this is Sow and Tare. Welcome back to the kitchen, and we are canning up this turkey bone broth we made in the last video. If you didn't see the last video, watch this one first, and then watch this one. All right, we're back in the kitchen. I just pulled out the turkey stock from the refrigerator, so most of it's gelled. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So you can see the difference. This is the second run through, and this is the first run through. The first run through has a bunch of fat on it. It's been in the refrigerator for a few days. This one is much more liquidy. This is pretty gelled. So it's actually been sitting out for like half an hour, but we can scoop the top off. It looks like it got frozen on the top, but we can scoop the fat off the top. There we go. This was in the top of the refrigerator, but there we go. So you might not get as much fat as I wanted to get off because it's frozen, but it still raised to the top and then froze. Yep, this is a big ice cube. Oh well. It was on the top shelf of the refrigerator. Little too tight to the top, I guess. So you can leave some of the fat in. This amount of fat is not going to be an issue for you canning. It just means that you're going to have a fat cap on the top, which is fine. If there's too much fat, then it can hinder the sealing and stuff, but yeah. All right, well, obviously that is a humongous chunk of ice cube, but I got the fat off of that. This one doesn't really need to be skimmed. Let's see. So this one, see how there's kind of chunky gel? That's gel. So that's a collagen. And then this one, it's thick, but it doesn't quite gel like that. That turkey must not have had a lot of collagen in it. I want to show you guys what usually happens with these bone broths. This is the rabbit and quail bone broth after coming out of the refrigerator and after having the fat skimmed off. And this is the jiggliness that you're looking for. So, did the same process. Not sure why our turkey didn't turn out the way, but it will still be good for us. My big pots are full because I'm doing so many things, but I have my Dutch oven here. So I'm just going to pour it in, and look at this humongous ice chunk in first. Wow, that's a big ice chunk. Oop. Anybody ready for a turkey smoothie? That doesn't sound as good as it probably is for you, huh? All right. Looks like much of that actually froze. Probably need to check the refrigerator temperature. All right. Pour this in. All right, so we are going to heat these up. Guess that's, I can fit it there. And for this back one, I'm going to heat it up a little slower. Well, I'm going to heat them up both slow because this one has ice in it, and I don't want it to like shock the system, but I'll put them on 6. And so that'll be warming up. And then we will be dealing with the actual canning once that is heated up. So you do want to heat back up your stock before you can it. Okay, our broth is simmering over here. I can shut that off. I just put in the lids for the jars in hot water, or in water with a little bit of vinegar. The vinegar, what that does is it helps get rid of anything in the water like calcium that it breaks it up, and so it doesn't cause a sealing issue. So In the bottom of my pressure canner, I have one of these. This is called a rack. They might look different depending on the different brands. I have an all-American pressure canner. I don't remember what number it is. They sell lots of different ones. I do say if I were to do this again, I would get one that could double stack quarts. So with this one, you can see, for this one, a quart comes up to here, and you really can't double stack. So you can double stack pints in here, but not quarts. So that is what we're going with. All right, so we have our stock is nice and hot. Our lids are back there. Can you guys see? This kitchen's not the best for filming, but that's okay. We have our jars over here. They are hot. I have a funnel. And yes, this one was from honey, and it doesn't matter if the label stays on there or not. It really doesn't matter. It may come off in the process, it may not. And we'll go from there. I have the rings. I have this one. Actually, that one looks bent. I need to get a different one of this size. I only have one of this size jar out. You want to make sure your rings are not bent. I just noticed this one was bent. These are a tool, so they're a tool until they get messed up. They can look pretty messed up anyway, you know, but they're a tool. You take them off after the process. So I've already done this on every single jar. Check for cracks, and I'm currently heating up this. Just heating, not any more than that. All right, so apparently I lost some footage, or it didn't press record. I believe it was recording, but don't know what happened. Anyway, your jars should be warmed up. So what I do for that, if they're already clean, already good to go, is I just rinse them with hot water, and that gets them warm. If you are not clean, clean them and use hot water. So that, and then I'll show you what I do. Pretend it's broth, it's gonna be water when I put it in. You definitely wanna get yourself some of these. So once the lid and band is on, you can move it like this. I can for years without this kind, and I really suggest you get this kind. Yeah, I can for years water bathing with not using appropriate tongs, and when you use appropriate tongs, you're like, oh my goodness, why did I not just spend the couple dollars it takes to get one of these? So let me show you how to fill it. And for the broth, we're going in 1 inch headspace, I believe. It was a few days ago. So, and then we'll put the lids on and show you about that. And then we'll go back to what was previously recorded. Okay, so I have my canning funnel here, and then I also have a ladle. I have a bigger one that is in the dishwasher right now. But again, pretend this is broth, it's water, and a bowl to catch any drippings. And like that. I'm gonna fill it up all the way to this 1 inch mark of headspace, and then put on the lid. If you're using a metal lid, just sets right on there, make sure it is centered. And then your band goes on. This is a tool. It does not stay on after you, after the process is done. So sometimes you have to go backwards to go forwards. And there you go. That is good. You're gonna use your tongs to lift this up, again, if it was full, and into your pressure can. I need to show you a couple things. This needs to be oiled. If you have an all-American pressure canner, it needs to be oiled. It is a very light oil. Put some oil on your finger and rub it around right here. Okay? The reason why this needs it and the other ones don't is because it is a metal on metal contact. They don't have gaskets, which is actually really good because you will never have a gasket go bad on this. So using a little bit of oil is good. I use avocado oil. Olive oil is good as well. And just a very thin layer, and then you put the lid on. And for All American, the arrow lines up with this, and it twists to close. And here is where we get to learn about cars. You want to close this up just like you would if you're changing a car tire. You do opposite and opposite. But first, we're going to look at this gap right here and make sure it's even. Now, this is a little tighter over here. So over here, I'm just going to kind of go like this a little bit. That's good. It looks like it's a little tight over here. We're going to look back here. Yes, it is. And so once this gap is even all the way around, then we do our opposites, okay? And what I do is I tighten it down just to hold it all the way around. Okay, then I recheck this gap. And if it's even all the way around, then I clamp down. Okay? With these clamps in place and with these hooks for here, that's not going anywhere. So that is how you want to look when your jars are inside, and it should be warming up by now. It's just I'm redoing this part for demonstration because I lost the footage. So now back to your regularly scheduled program. There is our steady stream of steam. We're going to set the time for 10 minutes. That will evacuate all of the air in here, and then it will be only steam for steam pressure. All right, it has been 10 minutes, and I'm going to use my weight gauge. I'm above 1,000 feet, so I put 15 pounds of pressure on. So we're just going to flip that right over, just like that. And we are not starting on time until that jiggles, gives us our first jiggle. All right, there's our first row, so we're gonna turn down the heat. So I've turned down the heat, and it will take a while because I have electric stove for that to equalize out, but if you turn it down gradually, then that is the best way to do it. And then make sure your jiggler is jiggling quite a bit. I did turn it down. Make sure your jiggler is jiggling at the rate your manufacturer says, and it's going to be a lot less than this. So just pay attention to that for your jiggler, and we'll go from there. So you can see the pressure, it's not quite at 15 on the gauge, but because we have our pressure gauge going, every time it does that, it goes a little bit over 15 pounds. That's what it's doing. It's just maintaining at 15 pounds of pressure. We turn down the heat just a little bit more, and that will maintain. So at this point, you're paying attention to this, not necessarily this. This gauge is for when everything's done and we can watch it go to 0. All right, our timer just went off. All we're doing is nothing up here, and we are turning off our heat. Okay, we'll see you back when this goes to 0. At this point, you can step away from your pressure cooker and set your timer for about a half an hour, come back and see if that pressure's gone all the way down. I'd say set it for 20 minutes, especially if this is your first time, but set it for 20 minutes, come back and see if the pressure's gone all the way down, and if pressure's all the way down, we will do the next step. All right, we see the dial's all the way down at 0, so we're going to use a hot pad, because this is really hot, and take this off. It's going to release a little extra pressure, and we're going to wait 2 minutes before opening and getting out our jars. All right, so this is done, pressure's down. This has been off for 2 minutes. Next, we're going to take the lid off and take out the jars. Now, I highly recommend you get these so you can pick up the jars without burning yourself. I canned for years by using a different kind of tong, and canning tongs, it's, once you have it, you'll be like, oh, this is why they made this tool. Get your tongs. All right, so just like a car tire, opposite side, opposite side, opposite side, and open away from yourself, and then we are going to actually kind of leave it hovering a little bit just so the jars, the pressure gets, you don't want, if your kitchen is super cold, you want to make this process slower. If your kitchen is okay warm, then just hover it for a little bit, and basically you don't want the temperature to change too quickly. So again, I'm tilting it away from me, steam's going out. Should probably turn this on. If you're using metal lids, you don't have to do anything with the lid. That's only if it's a reusable lid, then you crank down on it. But don't do anything with the lid. We're gonna pick these up and put them on a surface. I highly recommend you put down a towel on that surface, which I haven't done yet. And so when we pick these up, they're going to still be boiling. They may even boil for another hour. They may even boil past that point. That liquid is so hot that you really want to have these. Now when I said I canned forever without these, I was saying water bath canning, which is hot, but this is really hot. So you can't get this hot by boiling. It has to be by pressure. So I'm gonna go put a towel down where I'm putting this, and I'll come back and show you guys transferring it. They may have already all pinged, but we'll get it if we get it. So with these tongs, you want to get the jar itself, pick it up, and we'll put it over where I have it. All right, we have our little baby one, and we're gonna wait for these to cool 12 to 24 hours, then check the seals. So here's where I have them. I probably don't need the towel on this actually because it's brick, but I still did. And you can see which ones are which. The dark ones are that first batch, the thicker batch. Yeah, so we're gonna wait 12 to 24 hours. Okay, these have been sitting for overnight. Actually, they've been a little bit more than overnight. And they've settled. You can see the fat is at the top. There's some solids in the bottom because I didn't strain it. And there you go. So all these little buttons on the top are down, so I pretty much know they're sealed. You can tell that by the metal tops. If you did it with the white lids, the reusable lids, that's a different thing, but let's test it. We're going to take all the bands off, and we test it by picking it up. Simple as that. That is sealed. We want to store these with the bands off, and we want to wash this part before that in case there was any siphoning, so you don't get mold on your jars later. And there we go. There's the difference between the first round and second round of turkey stock. I hope you enjoyed the video, and now you know how to can turkey bone broth. You can use it for soups, you can use it for stews, you can use it to drink, you can use it for rice and quinoa, beans, anything like that. It'll give you extra nutrition, extra collagen, and it will be very, very good for you. And you can do that with any type of bone, exactly how we just did it. So I did use the other one that I was working on to make chili, and so that's what this is, and it turned out really good. So I will be putting out a video on that later. And yeah, I hope you saved your turkey from your Christmas dinner, from your Thanksgiving dinner, whenever you have turkey, or any other thing, and make a broth, make a stock, and it is a really good thing. Thank you for watching. Share this around to someone who needs to get more nutrients in their life, and hit the like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching.